Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video and I'm playing in the small craft journal and I'm going to be creating a page with a little fold out transparency tip in. So this is from one of Dina's transparency packs with the printed faces on, and I've just cut out a piece that is similar in size to the page in the journal that I'm working on, and here I'm just going in with some sand. And you can see that I'd have to cut my bottle open because it was nearly at the end. So this is the mosaic tile stencil, and while that paint's wet, I'm just using a damp baby wipe and just lifting some paint off through the stencil. And you'll see that's a great way to get an initial layer of pattern onto your background. So next, to start and build those layers, I'm just going to add some text collage paper onto my page as well. This is some from one of Dina's packs. She's got so many, but they're all brilliant and they are great for getting some interest into your background, because the collage paper does kind of melt into your page. Really lovely, especially when you use matte medium with them. So I'm just adding some pieces of these onto my page, and then once that's dry, then going to start on the next stage. So then, to just gently push those into the background, I'm just going back in with a little bit of paint and just going over those edges, and you can see that means like you can still see them a little bit, but they're not quite so I don't know, quite so obvious. So then I am using marine, and I'm using this stencil which is called Lattice. This is one of Dina's stencils as well. I've got a small obsession with Dina's things, no surprise there, hey. And then here I've added a bit of turquoise. I don't think I've changed the blending sponge on my tool, so the colours are kind of moulding together, melting together, blending together, I guess, but that's okay. I'm not really bothered about that. This is another one of Dina's stencils. I can't remember what this one's called. I'll try and find out and put a link in the description box to what it is. And I'm just starting to build those layers. I do love, absolutely love to build layers with stencils and just shapes and patterns and colour. It's a really fun way to add those details into your background. Here I'm just going in with a nice light colour on the top, and that just kind of brings the attention back into the foreground. And this is the Circles for Painting stencil. You can see I'm still scraping around for leftover paint, and doing that dabbing motion you get a very different application of paint onto your page as well. So I'm just using some washi tape to stick the transparency in place. Just got it folded out to the left. You can't quite see it at the minute, so I'm just sticking it on the inside. There it is. Okay, so once that's where I want it to be, I'm then going to just mark out roughly where the face comes to. So you can see I'm kind of using the transparency, just drawing underneath it where that face shape is. And what I'm going to do now is use a bit of white paint and just try and push away that background a little bit so that you can see the face a little bit more. And I am bringing the paint over the washi tape as well, so that that isn't causing a problem. Then I'm using the white Signo Uniball and just adding in the white of the eye. Draws that attention to the face again. Very, very carefully giving it a dry. And then I'm using a text stamp. It's got like some Asemic writing on from one of Dina's sets, and just adding a little bit of text stamping onto my page too. Using black archival ink for that. I'm just doing that down that left hand side, so it isn't interfering with the facial features that are on the transparency, and you can still see those. But you've just got that extra layer of interest. Sorry, I promise I'm only having a cup of tea while I'm doing this. Then I've got these really tiny little craft tags, and as you know, this squared stamp set is one of my favourites. So what I'm going to do is just put some ink on that and press the tag onto it and just see whether that gets some of the face on to the tag. So I only wanted part of it. I wasn't bothered about all of it. And this was, I felt, the easiest way to get the bit that I wanted there. Because sometimes when you put it on an acrylic block and you're stamping it down, you can't actually see which bit of the stamp you're using. So this way works quite well to make sure you get the bit that you want on the area that you need it to be. Okay, so my plan was to staple these either side at the bottom of the transparency so that when you fold it out, you've got that, didn't know that was there. I'm just using a little bit of double-sided tape on that left-hand edge there, and again here, and then I'm just going to stick those down on there. And then through the little tag hole at the top, I'm just going to add a tiny bit of sari ribbon. I had it kind of floating around on my desk and thought, oh, I might as well use that. And then just chopping off the excess. Then I decided I was going to add some washi tape hearts as a bit of a contrast. And I was only going to use half a piece, which is why it was torn in half, which you may well think is a little bit odd, but there was a reason why I'd done that. Then I decided that I didn't like both of them there. It was too much, so took them off. And they did get used somewhere else. And I decided I just wanted one at the bottom on the tag. Much better. Sometimes you have to try things and realise actually it's not quite what I was after, or it doesn't work how I thought it did, how it was going to. So just to, like, you know, then you can move things and try them somewhere else. Particularly with washi tape, that's a really easy thing to pick up and move without too much trouble, although I am making this look incredibly difficult. Okay. Brilliant. So this is coming together. So we've now got that tip-in transparency, and now I'm going to use the ledger papers to find a quote that works for me. I've said so often that there's so many quotes on those ledger papers, it's really easy to just look through and find one that really speaks to you in that moment. And this one fitted perfectly with this page. So I'm using my fine applicator tip bottle just to stick these words in place. This is such an easy way to do it without getting all gluey and sticky. And then the final thing that I did was to add some white dots onto the page in 3 areas, just to kind of finish it off, pull it all together. And I do, as you know, just love the way it looks, really like it. So that pretty much was it for this page. So the layering was lots of fun to do with all the stencils, and it's a great way to play with colours, patterns, shape, and just, you know, if it's not something you've tried, just get your stencils out and some colours that you like and just play with building those layers with your stencils. It is lots and lots of fun. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video where I've used a transparency as a tip-in and created some layers on my page too. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.